So now that we've been able to add tasks and persist them to NSUserDefaults, we now need to figure out how to access the information from NSUserDefaults and store it in the array called taskObjects, which we set up as a property and used lazy instantiation to ensure that it would always have memory allocated and that the object would be initialized. So we're going to go to viewDidLoad inside of the viewController.m file, and we're first going to access information from our NSUserDefaults. So we're going to write NSArray, and we're going to say task as property list, and we're going to set this equal to NSUserDefaults, standard user defaults, to get our NSUserDefaults object, and we're going to say array for key, and we're going to use the key we set up in our define. So we're going to say taskObjects at key. And what this will do is, if there is in fact information, specifically we saved an array of information with our task objects into NSUserDefaults, we're going to be able to access that information and set that equal to the array named tasks as property lists. Next, we're going to use a for loop, and we're going to iterate over our array. So we're going to say for NSDictionary, because we know that we're storing dictionaries in our array of tasks as property lists, specifically to NSUserDefaults. We're saving a bunch of dictionaries which are breaking down our CC task model to store it as a plist. So we're going to say dictionary, and notice that we're using our fast enumeration here. In tasks as property lists, we go ahead and add some curly braces. And we need to first create a helper method in order to convert our dictionary into a task object. So let's go down to our helper methods, and we can go ahead and add a helper method, and we're going to call this CC task. It's going to return a CC task, and the name will be task object for dictionary, and we're going to pass an NSDictionary object in, so we can say dictionary. We can add our curly braces, and the first thing we'll do is we'll say CC task object is equal to CC task alloc, and then when we do our initializer, we actually set up a custom initializer which initializes with data, and we're actually getting past the dictionary, and it is our argument. So we can say dictionary, and then we'll finally return this task object. So now that we have this method that will convert our dictionary and use our initializer init with data using our dictionary, we'll be able to return a task object from this method. So let's go back into viewDidLoad and use this method now that we just created. So we're going to say CC task object is equal to self, and we're going to call our method. So we're going to say task object for dictionary, and let's pass in the dictionary that we're getting from our for loop here. And finally, we can add our task object to our array. So we're going to say self.taskObjects add object, and let's add our task object. So now we have an array called self.taskObjects that immediately gets all of the task objects converted from NSUserDefaults when we load up our application, because we're doing this code inside of viewDidLoad.